When you need help or advice, you turn to your parents or a trusted friend for help. So why go outside of Virginia, your home, when you need car insurance? Able Insurance gives you individual attention and won't turn you away no matter what your driving record looks like. Giving same-day personal service in the state of Virginia for over 30 years. Able Insurance, 979-0814 is the number. AbleInsurance.com is the site.
I want the whole world spin my record. Cheryl, the Hooded Styles, check game, stay free records. Oh, shorty girl fed to death in a massaging. Bad news even be massaging. I got a fitted head, I be massaging. Pinky rings on my finger, I'm massaging. I got a speedboat concert cause I massage. I coming through about a whole Econo Lodge. I be massaging, I be massaged. I'm coming through with Cadillacs and massaging. Yeah, boats I'm constantly massaging. I got GPS, I be massaging. I catch croaker fish cause I'm massaging. I like a macaroni plate, I be massaging. Even oodles and noodles, I be massaging. Straight out the ghetto, cause I'm massaging. I got ice around my neck cause I'm massaging. Or even gold teeth, I'm massaging. A pinky ring iced out cause I'm massaging. I got $100 million, I be massaging. I got $10, I be massaging. I got $1,000, I be.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, though? Welcome to the BallHawk Show podcast. I'm your host, Amar Hawkins, and I know it's a rare occasion that I do a podcast on a Thursday, but yet again, JaVale hit me up, and when JaVale hit me up, that means he got a lot of smoke he want to send to folks. So before we get started, as you heard, this podcast is sponsored by the great people at Able Insurance, Billy and Charlene White, like family to me, but they definitely been supporting the brand from day one. So make sure you go out to Rowell Road, you here in Charlottesville, right by where the gold place is at, is right tucked over next to that, you know. And make sure you tell them the BallHawk sent you, man. Able Insurance service in the state of Virginia for over 20 years. They also have services available in states outside of Virginia now. So check out their site, ableinsurance.com. And make sure you go to STHUjuice.com. Get your Shut the Hell Up Juice apparel, or hit me up directly on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Facebook, Twitter at I Am BallHawk, and Instagram at I Am BallHawk if you're trying to get some apparel. And if you just recently purchased apparel, make sure you take a picture of you in the Shut the Hell Up Juice gear so I can get you up on the store site. So when you go back to the store and you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a picture of yourself in the Shut the Hell Up Juice merch. So let's go and get this pod. We got two people in the queue right now. I'm going to go ahead and unmute them, but let me go ahead and share with the folks what the topics are before I let my analyst jump right on to it. So today's topics, you see the title, Zion Williamson and the Shoes episode, but more importantly, we're going to discuss his injury. We're going to discuss his options, what should be done. How do you feel about players who decide to sit out after they play so many games in college basketball because they are forced to play in college basketball? Also, the compensation route. Do we need to revisit it? I have an idea, a proposal in which the NCAA should allow players to get paid, and they don't even have to pay them. They athletes get paid a different way to where the NCAA can keep their little change. I got my man Robert T. Green on. I know he's going to break bread about that. Also, we're going to talk about the NBA MVP race. We're going to talk about the Steelers GM allowing Big Ben to be a sport-ass brat. We're going to definitely talk about that. And some more topics. Doug Gottlieb is on my radar. He's going to get served Shut the Hell Up Juice, but I'm going to introduce my analyst right now. Let them rock in. But Doug Gottlieb, your ass is mine, boy, with no pauses. I don't care nothing about no pauses. I'm grown. But Doug Gottlieb got to get this smoke because he was on First Things First, really showing off. He really went at Odell Beckham on Twitter. Then he went off on Tracy McGrady today. I got to have you, Doug Gottlieb. Yes, I do. So what's up to my analyst? What's going on?
What's up, Hawk? How you doing, man?
I'm good, baby. What's good with y'all?
All good, man. All good. A lot of smoke. A lot of smoke over the past 24, 48 hours. It transpired over the sports world.
Hold on. First of all,
right up my alley.
so my man Robert T. Green back in the building. But hold on, before we get started, JaVale, you better take off your sexy Key Sweat voice, man. You better get some bass in your chest and let's perk up now. Let's perk up. This ain't no time to be real cordial. It's Thursday.
The wifey told me that I gotta stop getting so animated on here. So I'm gonna take it back.
Wifey.
To
All due
reserve.
respect, wifey, we love you. We appreciate you, wifey. But the brand calls for the animated JaVale. We take all the animation out of him so he can be very docile with you as a loving husband and father. So we're helping you out, like taking the kids out as a grandparent, letting them run around and bringing them back and they tired. So we need that energy from JaVale today. Sorry, wifey. No disrespect. I know you live in
I like that.
You keep the breaks off Duke too, wifey. I know you feeling good right now. So.
Yeah. She's loving that last night. I was ready to go to sleep.
So here we go. So look, I know my man Rob is always pressed for time, man. He's a busy dude. He does a lot financially for young athletes. I'm gonna go ahead and let Rob set the table as far as what he wants to talk about and what topic he want to break bread about. So without further ado, my man Robert T. Green, the floor is yours, brother.
Hey, I appreciate that, BallHawk, man. Long time no hear. I know you've been grinding.
Yes, sir.
Some of the things that we spoke about going way back, for those who don't know, who was the first to tell you, and I got to say it on your show again, who was the first to tell you that Baker Mayfield's going to be drafted number 1 overall?
You did that, sir.
Purpose. Okay, again, at the end of the day, it's not on first takes first. It's not Stephen A. talking about Zion not to sit out. It was the players rep. And the reason why I'm having this conversation again is to explain the magnitude of what that game last night in Cameron Indoor Arena really means to what sports is in America today. The fact of the matter, that one man in itself basically fed about 10,000 families plus, and not only in the United States of America, but abroad, based on whether it's shoe sales, whether it's the jersey sales, whether it's the name, the branding. There are people that was in that building essentially basically there just for that reason, and basically through advertising and TV, that one man put everybody on his back regarding those things. So for him to literally bust out of his shoe and to get hurt, and for those that played in college sports such as I and yourself, one of the things that people don't talk about enough is that when a coach like Mike Krzyzewski has the audacity to go out there and literally a matter of 30 minutes and say that he has a mild sprain, that was only to try to appease the powers that be at ESPN and everybody else who want to continue to try to eat off that meal ticket, also known as Zion Williamson. Because the fact of the matter is, the NCAA and their trainers are notorious for misdiagnosing athletes, and then when they go to the NBA, the NFL, to get really evaluated with their real opinion, then all of a sudden you find out what damage really was. And then this player, they have to suffer the responsibility of not having his body where it needs to be. I said earlier, and I'm saying again on your show, Zion needs to be done. And pertaining to the NCAA, you said earlier that they don't have to pay. No, the NCAA does have to pay. They have to pay, and they got to continue to pay, because the reality is without that guy Zion or those 3 other players who were top 5 lottery picks that Coach Krzyzewski couldn't manage, the greatest coach in Duke, to manage to win the game without Zion, shows you once again, Zion came to Duke one way, he's leaving Duke the same way. Mike Krzyzewski, Duke, NCAA, the ACC, the NCAA tournament, all going to make millions off of what he did, whether he doesn't play again or whether he plays now. In his best interest, if Zion left school today, there's a $100 million endorsement from Nike with the same shoe he bust out today. And when they talk about college and education, the free education that Zion can get right now is realizing, like, hey, at the end of the day, these kids that I came to go to school with, they're going to see me in the same league 2 years from now. The difference is you're going to take care of our family, so take care of everybody else's family. And that whole title of team until Zion gets hurt, and then they'll say next man up. So the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to the business of sport, you have to know your worth. You have to understand that. You have to understand everybody that's around you. Literally, if they're telling Zion to return, they don't got Zion's best interest in mind, a.k.a. Stephen A. Smith saying that he shouldn't sit out. At the end of the day, what does Stephen A. Smith understand about a guy's injury? The bottom line is that when you come to being a professional athlete, teams and leagues use everything that goes against you, injury, off-the-field circumstances, to use that against you, to leverage against what you can get. Right now, Zion's actual position of power and leverage is at an all-time high. Playing another game on that knee for any reason, any other hiccup whatsoever, will be used against him in the best interest of what's best for him and his family. So at the end of the day, if Zion, his representatives, anybody is out there understanding, you have a short window to play sports. You can go to, there's people right now that got $200,000 worth of debt with a degree on their plaque on their wall. They can't get a job to pay off that debt. So, again, that's some more free education for you. So at the end of the day, take what you got to do on that court while you still can, maximize that, invest in yourself, in your family, in your future, and go ahead. Because at the end of the day, when Zion is gone, they're going to take that same jersey, whatever number he's wearing, and give it to the next guy, and then call him the next. So Zion need to wake up and understand this. Sports is not a game. It is all business. And trust the facts, not the process.
Wow. That's a lot of facts, a lot of things that were uncovered, a lot of great points made about how the business model of the NCAA will capitalize off the amateurism of these young men. When you look at Duke, they promote Zion bigger than Duke. Zion is the big picture. You have the little Duke emblem at the bottom. He's always at the forefront. When he got injured, he was the talk of the town. We saw LeBron James come to Charlottesville, Virginia to see him play University of Virginia. We saw Obama. We saw Floyd Mayweather, the home game before that, come to Duke, and it's because of the freak known as Zion. So, as Robert said, man, it's something that we really have to go back to the table and analyze as far as the compensation for young athletes, men and women. Me personally, and I'm going to throw the floor to JaVale, and I see Darren in here also. Me personally, I feel like when you sign your national letter of intent, they need to allow these athletes to maintain their likeness rights. That an athlete should be able to go on YouTube and have a channel showing a day in the life of a Zion Williamson. And I posed on one of my YouTube videos. Can you imagine if Zion got one of those GoPro cameras and had a little helmet or a hat where he could put it in front of his face and he just did dumps from his point of view, and how many people would subscribe to his channel, how many views he would get, and how much revenue he can generate off his likeness. But the NCAA would step in there and say, wait a minute, we need a piece of that pie. So when people say the NCAA need to pay players, I'm all for that. But I propose this lane and say, just give them, he or she, their likeness. Let them have their likeness to where they can sell a shirt, to where a product can take his jersey and get it in exchange for tattoos. Like, you should not be able to monopolize off of me just because I play for your university and you're giving me, in air quotation, a free education. And we know that education isn't free because it's dependent upon what you feel of me as an athlete. And it's year to year. Hell, it's semester to semester taken away. So, what you got, JaVale?
I mean, all points made, I agree with. I mean, it just lets you see that, you know, how an individual. We all knew Zion was, you know, I don't like to compare him to LeBron because in my eyes, Zion is still he's a man, but he's still a child. You know what I'm saying? He's 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to compare him to LeBron. However, he's probably the most highly publicized college basketball athlete other than LeBron that we've ever seen, you know, as far as marketing and dollar signs for the future, you know. And, you know, when people come out and say, you know, he needs to set out and he set it down, you know, I'm not against that, but I want that to be the same people who said or who had said that high school athletes or in the NBA shouldn't have to go to college at all. You know what I'm saying? Not just because he got hurt and then say, oh, now we're looking at the dollar signs. You know, because it shouldn't change the narrative because he got hurt last night. It should have been a narrative when he graduated high school last May or June. This young man should have been able to go directly to the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. You know, and you know, I've heard a lot of people today say, well, you know, the NFL, you know, they regulate that, you know, you have to be out of high school for 3 years before you can go. And I think more than anything, it's just the physicality of professional football in that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so I can kind of see that because you can be a dynamic high school athlete, All-American, and be 5'7", 5'8", you know, 170 pounds coming out of high school, but you need time to mature in the game and physically before you can go against a 27, 28-year-old grown man who's been in the league for 5 or 6 years. So I understand that, and especially with the CTE and the situation of the brain and the head traumas in the NFL, I understand that.
Yeah.
But as far as when it goes back to basketball and Zion, like I agree with it to a point, to an extent. I agree with what everybody has said today. But I just feel like, if you're going to be the one who says that, he shouldn't have to go to college at all, and like I said, the NCAA shouldn't, restrict basketball players from going. You say that from the beginning, not just because of last night. But when it comes to last night, it's hard because, first of all, I want to know what the injury is. I don't want speculation, or Coach K to come out and say what I think it is. I want to know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if it's a pulled or torn hamstring, to me that's more serious than a mild knee sprain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same token, Zion is still going to be a top 2 or 3 pick regardless of what his injury is. And I just read about an hour or two ago that he has an $8 million insurance policy if he's not a lottery pick.
Let me chime in on that real quick so I can explain what that means, and in particular when they talk about loss of value and PTD. And first of all, Bleacher Report made that report, and when you talk about $8 million, it's not $8 million. There's a thing called PTD, permanent disability, also known as PTD, and it's LOV, loss of value, which Lloyd's of London actually puts that out. They're the only ones that do this policy, and particularly when it comes to how much that policy is for the school. If the school pays for it through the Student Athletic Fund, it's no more than $20,000. And how that breaks down is that the Lloyd's of London, literally, they don't give PTD policies out without the loss of value or vice versa, because at the end of the day, they realize what's the likelihood of them not playing again. So when it comes to any insurance provider, it doesn't matter. They basically make the policy based off of how they know they're not going to lose any money. And so for that matter, Zion's going to play basketball again. So if he gets the $4 million of PTD and a $4 million of loss of value, really he only would collect $4 million. So, and again, that's after he falls past the 15th pick in the lottery, which that's almost impossible to happen. So at the end of the day, that insurance policy doesn't cover anything particular where he will fall. Even if he got hurt, he will fall to the 5th pick at worst. And so therefore that policy would never kick in. But people throw that out there literally to try to say, he got an $8 million policy. Has nothing to do with it. He'll never see that $8 million because he'll never fall to the 15th pick. He'll never see the $8 million because it's not $8 million. It's $4 million PTD and $4 million loss of value. These things aren't explained to these kids and these parents when they even go to school by the same people that's in there that's telling them, whether it's AAU coaches, Coach Krzyzewski, their athletic department, no one. At the end of the day, again, really be honest with you, Zion, because it's $8 million, more than likely he the one that paid that money for that. So essentially his parents are in debt for that actual loan, for that $8 million that he would never go into see. And Lloyd's of London know they're never going to pay out on that. So again, the money he would make as a top pick is no way near comparison. It's the same thing when we talk about football. Like $8 million is nothing compared to the $100 million that he doesn't play tomorrow, and goes and sign a deal with Nike for the shoe endorsement. So at the end of the day, you don't get opportunities to make money like this going forward in life-changing generational wealth type scenarios. But once again, as athletes, as African-American athletes, as parents of athletes, supporters of athletes, until people understand what the full picture is, and I mentioned before, JaVale, when you talked about the injury, the reality is when you talk about getting diagnosis from schools, they're going to give you the least amount of diagnosis, the one that they tell you to put ice on and rub a Band-Aid on it, and you're going to be all right. You cannot make a $20 million, $100 million decision based off what the Duke trainer said. At that moment in itself, because it's business, Mike Krzyzewski has no business even talking about what injury may happen, because at the end of the day, that's going to hurt Zion. So once again, when you talk about these kids at that level, you have no business doing that. But once again, because of the kid is allowing the school to dictate his own business, that's why things continue to repeat itself. So the fact of the matter is there's no amount of insurance in college that can take away a $100 million shoe endorsement. The same shoe he busted his foot out yesterday. And anybody that's in the NCAA that says he should stay because of that, again, if he got hurt again, not Mike Krzyzewski, not the NCAA, going to write a check saying we sorry for your loss. They're not going to send their thoughts and prayers. So the reality is you got to take advantage of your opportunity while you can. And yes, you're right. He is a 17 to 18-year-old kid. But guess what? The people around him can manipulate his thought process to make him believe he knows or understands. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I got in this business and what I do now, because at the end of the day, when I say sports is not a game, it's all business, everybody that's around Zion that gets to talk to him right now has a business interest in Zion and what they say, how they say it. Stephen A.
It's all about the dollar. It's all about the dollar for everybody. It's all about the dollar.
So you can't take nothing that they say at face value. Period.
And anybody who says it's not about the dollar, they're not being honest with themselves or to anybody else. Like this is like you know, I heard or I don't know if it was First Take or Fox Sports on one of the shows on there. Like I heard today, like, you know, everybody goes to college to better themselves, right? Whether you go to get an education and go to get a job in whatever said field that you go in, or you go to play football, basketball, baseball. You go to college for money. It's your stepping stone to your career. Like, and that I mean, that's what people try to sugarcoat. Well, you know, they're getting a free education. Yeah, the kids are getting a free education, but let's talk about the meal plans that are half-assed, and you know, they struggle to eat sometimes, and all the money that the institutions are making off of these kids with ticket prices, you know. And you know, I looked last night when they were talking about the ticket prices, and you know, that's Duke and Carolina, but you know, I couldn't even. I'm a diehard UVA fan, and I wasn't even trying to drop $800 to $1,000 to go to the Duke game two weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, I don't watch that shit on TV.
For you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's NCAA for you.
And
I got a question, though.
But it's the players and the parents that allowed the NCAA. Ahmad mentioned the national letter of intent. It's a voluntary document, but because ESPN put 3 hats out there to sit there and put you on TV for 10 minutes, you're going to sign your life away. They don't talk about after the fact, too, that actual IP, which is intellectual property, gets signed away. Not then. It's happened after you sign a national letter. You got to practice, and now they saying, okay, you got to get your pads, but real quick you got to sign this waiver talking about drug policy and basic standard stuff. That's where they sign over the IP right there. There's no parent, no lawyer, none of them involved. Those kids don't even realize what they signed off for. They're trying to get their helmet before everybody gets the helmet that they want. And that's how this stuff always has been. But until the parents and the kid understand that, that's why the NCAA can do what they do. And at the end of the day, if Zion says, I'm not playing tomorrow, the NCAA can't say nothing to him. And again, every one of those kids that got indicted or got in trouble when they so-called took money, remember, check back. Every one of those kids did not miss a game. They all played, including Trae Young,
who
played in the NCAA tournament. They made sure they got on that field, in that court, just because.
Check out the Arizona.
Day, it's not the NCAA. Yeah, he's back. They all played. So it's not the NCAA, it's the kids and the parents that allow that to happen.
Go ahead,
Darren. I got
a
question, though. So, say if the NBA doesn't allow, they're still not going to let you move straight from high school straight to the NBA. So all the guys that are up and coming, because usually when going to college, a lot of times these guys go to college just to be in the spotlight so they can be noticed by the NBA. So do you suggest them take the alternative? Yeah, I was going to say, do they take?
It's the G League.
Do you suggest them to go to like the NFL Europe, like a Luka Doncic or a Schroeder?
Diablo,
Brandon Jennings.
You can make the Chinese in China. They pay you $1 million straight cash, and they pay for your representation to go over there. You don't have to be over here. Again, it starts when you're younger because through the AAU circuit, through ESPN, it's called institutionalization. These kids see their friends and they want to do the same exact thing. They don't understand the value of the actual market that they in. Man, these other other countries would kill to have some of these American athletes come over there and play for them, and we'll pay them royally, and then let them go back. That's what that's actually about.
All right, go ahead, T.
So do y'all think? Now I know Kyrie didn't fake an injury when he was at Duke, but with the hype that some of these kids have coming out of high school, do you think that some of these kids should just go to college, play a couple of games, and then sit out and just wait for the draft?
Is that what coaches do after they win some games and then go take a job somewhere after they get the kid like Zion and show up or somebody else?
I mean, I'm just asking. As a benefit to the kids.
My opinion, absolutely. When you talk about sports, you only can play a certain amount of time. Yes, fans want to win championships. Yes, but when you have kids that actually can change the livelihood of their families for generations, there's guys that get injured all the time and nobody talks about it. At the end of the day, Ahmad played pro sports. I played pro sports. We all had the same goal when we came into this way back when. We didn't think we'd be sitting here on Facebook right now having a conversation in the middle of the night. We thought we'd be sitting on top of a mountain. That's not realistic. got at the end of the day, you get a certain amount of time to maximize your ability to make money off your likeness, image, and your game. And the moment that an injury, the moment that someone else can make that same money off you for doing absolutely nothing, a lot of times agents, NCAA, coaches. Again, you talk about Zion yesterday. Coach K still did not get top of the 3 or the top 4 picks in the NBA lottery draft coming up next year. Why are they talking about how the great Coach K could not do anything without the one guy who's still a kid?
And that's my point.
That's how it's always been.
That's my point, bro.
A great point. That's a great point.
If you have 4 of the top 20 high school players on one team, because my point was this Duke class, this freshman class is probably the best freshman class other than the Fab Five in the past 30 years on one team.
Yeah.
There's no coaching
squad
going on. There's kids that are great athletes making money for Coach Krzyzewski.
That's man. I agree with that 110%.
So you paying them all the money and you allowing me to make the money off of me and then turn around and have me give homage to you. Let Coach Krzyzewski coach a team that don't got nobody on there and tell me how great he is.
Thank you.
Without Kobe and LeBron and everybody else.
So here's my thing.
Look, just from
go ahead, Darren. Go ahead. No, you good, Darren. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then after the fact that Zion got hurt, do you imagine how that makes R.J. Barrett kind of look crazy? It made them look crazy at the fact that North Carolina just kept going straight to the hoop. So I'm like, yo, where's the coaching? Where's the fundamentals of just
running
basic
offense.
Fundamentals? You know what I'm saying?
Is it Grant Hill? Is it Shane Battier? Is it Jerry Stackhouse from Carolina? Is it all those dudes? Vince Carter? That's where it is. That's where it was.
Yeah.
But of everybody, it depends on how serious his injury is. But for everybody, for more than anybody, I think this is if you can see a positive, not saying positive, but as a player, I think Zion is the most hyped player this year in college, and he is in the college. I mean, the NBA scouts and GMs and owners see dollar signs, as I said in LeBron, but Barrett is a better player. Barrett, to me, is going to be a better professional.
Was he?
Why is that, though? Why do you feel that way? Because he could shoot and he could dribble and
because
stuff?
I just his overall, to me, his overall game. I mean, he like in the NBA, he could be a 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Zion is, I mean, he's 6'8", 255, 260. He's going to be limited.
I don't think he's even 6'8".
He could be no. Zion could play. Zion ain't gonna be limited. You see how he move and how fast he is. He's not gonna be limited.
I don't think he's gonna be that quick hawk in the league, man. I mean, to me, it's different because those kids he's playing against. Again, I said he's a child. He's a child.
Do you think RJ's quicker than Zion?
I don't think so.
I think his game transition is better in the NBA, man.
Yeah, he do. His game. I think his game will transition better because he has the jacking for beats game. That's what the NBA is, jack up shots. So that's RJ. He's going to fit right in with that. I think the thing with Zion is he does so much more that it's not going to be noticed as much. You feel what I'm saying? Like he's going to rebound.
I think that
he sells tickets, and that's what the NBA scouts and care about more than anything else. Look at Marquise Fultz. It don't matter. Like, when they talk about who's going to go in first, it's about who's going to put those butts in the seats a la Cameron Indoor Arena. And that's how it's always been. So
arena.
He may get developed, he get the right coach, but the bottom line is that at the end of the day, as long as he walks through the door, somebody's going to pay a ticket for 10 to 12 years, and that's what they pay for. That's how it's always been.
So here's what I want to say before I let the next two analysts. So it's always the narrative about the education piece and the scholarships. And this is what I want to say to folks about the education piece and the scholarships. There is no window when it comes to your education. So, yes, a scholarship to Duke or UVA may weigh a whole lot, but a player's dream is to play on the highest level, which is the NBA, NFL, the MLB. So for people to say players need to stay and get their education, they fail to realize that the media does not share information where a guy like Greg Oden will go back to school and finish a degree. And a guy like Larry Fitzgerald will go back to the University of Phoenix and get his degree. Myself, when I left, I didn't finish, and I came back in the summer of 2009 and finished my degree. The scholarship don't mean that much when we know that dream is right there. Everybody goes to college and they use college as a springboard. Just like the institutions using for athletic prowess, we're using the university for the added exposure and for the education to allow us to be able to play and allow us to have a fallback to if we don't play long enough and our money ain't long enough that we can use some of those finances to again finish that education. So when folks say somebody need to stay in school and have a backup plan, no. The backup plan is always going to be there. But sports has a window. Education does not. So we got to stop with this Stone Age narrative that you have to stay in school. You do not. You do not.
Hey,
and majority of these guys hold on. And the majority of these guys hold on. And the majority of these guys can go fail at the peak, at the pinnacle, and then still become coaches and still never get their education and still be successful. Yep. So we got to stop with this built-in Americanized narrative that you have to go to college. It's a choice. But stop telling these guys they have to have a backup plan when they can still come back because you want, as a fan, to win your little office pool on the NCAA March Madness. So go ahead, caller. I'm done.
Preach.
No, hey, but isn't it one of the things about UVA that you never stop learning, right? You know.
You never stop learning. Exactly. And I went to UVA, and that's why I'm saying that. You never stop learning. So you cannot put an age on education. That's forever. Hey, Big, what's good with you, baby? Hold on. Let me get my big bro in here. Big, what's good with you, bro?
Hey, yo, what's up, man? I'm loving this show. Can I just I got to get ready for my son's basketball practice.
I know.
Coach.
Shout out to Victory. Hey, shout your company out, too, man, before you start. Plug your company because you're the big bro.
Yeah, Victory Life LLC. That's VICK. A play on my last name and the Vic family legacy, man. And our motto is leave a legacy. I'm big on pushing all youth, middle school, high school, young men to be their own leaders, to be their own brand, their own business, man. Men, women have a high school internship program. I do therapeutic mentoring. I'm a licensed therapist, so I'm all about motivating and empowering our youth.
My man.
I appreciate it. Hey, I just wanted to chime in because this was such a powerful discussion. I just want to add a few things real quick, and I'm going to let you guys go and keep on listening. But I just want to add real quick, everything you guys are saying is on point. And I just want to add one thing I've seen when I do student-athlete symposiums is it's a cultural dynamic issue with student-athletes, especially black and Hispanic males, where we have for decades been of the mindset of the consumer. I have 2 master's and 2 bachelor's degrees, and I'm my own business, but it didn't hit me until after I was done playing when I got cut from the Baltimore Ravens that it's not only a business, but we have to be professionally selfish and start thinking like my teammates and friends, the Shane Deemers, who I played with. While we were on the sticks playing Madden in the apartment, he was going co-oping into internships in the NFL. We have to think more like LeBron and more like what you guys are saying Zion and his family is going to do. We are too happy with getting a scholarship and not thinking about being a general manager. A lot of the issues
it's a
we
financial
have
aid too, by the way. It's not even a scholarship. That's the term.
Yeah. So a lot of the issues we're having right now is more so we're thinking like in the consumer. And, listen, at the end of the day, it's not just Coach K and Roy Williams. It's all these guys, Tyler Perry. It's a business. Coach K, years ago, many of his teams looked like, and I'm a big fan of Tony Bennett. I'm not a UVA fan, but I love Tony Bennett, one of my favorite coaches and people. Coach K back in the 80s, his teams looked like, they look like the UVA teams. Disciplined, efficient offense, great shooting. And then the one-and-done era came. He realized he couldn't win with Greg Pollard, so he switched over. But it wasn't. Yep. But just keep in mind, it wasn't just him. Roy Williams came out and talked how they recruited Zion extra hard. Roy Williams talked about how he recruited Tatum and Harry Giles when they were in 7th and 8th grade. But the thing is, the NCAA has never evolved. If anything, they just modified their malpractice and their hidden agenda. Yes. But as athletes, we have not evolved because we still think like consumers, thinking, well, as long as I get my offers, let me just show people my hat. Let me pick this school thinking, you know what, here's my work. Here's what I bring to this team. Here's what I do. You're going to let me speak on this. No, my dad's going to be involved. And I just want to chime in that everything you guys are saying is true, but just keep in mind it's a cultural aspect, especially when you look at areas like D.C., Chicago, the Tidewater area, New York. We think, oh, you know what, my baby boy just got that look. He just got that offer when we have to start breeding the guys to be more general managers. We need more Ahmad Hawkins. We need more Elton Browns. We need more leaders that think and create their own businesses that end up doing stuff. But I just want to chime in. Great show. I'm gonna
don't leave yet, sir. Don't leave yet, sir. Don't leave yet. Real quick, Ahmad, you don't mind? I want to say this real quick.
No, go ahead.
Check out Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary is the first African American, this athlete period, in America to build his own. Again, so we talk about how taxes work, and people don't know in football. At the 2018 Trump tax cuts, agent fees are no longer deductible. However, by having an agent that works for you as an independent contractor and having your own business, when he gets paid through the NFL, that money flows through his entity, which allows him to get the most of the tax breaks and cuts that no other athlete would ever get. So by that in itself, he becomes one of the most reputable sports agencies in the world because in the day, all his money goes through that type of structure. And again, what we talk about at pre-post game is start with the end in mind. I don't go about my business of saying, things or using athletes as leverage, but Ahmad can say, I told him I was going to do this. We were going to do this years ago. And so that's exactly what he did. This young man is a projected top 5 pick. He did not sign with a rapper. He did not sign with one of these guys that have been around for 50 years. He did not do any of that. He signed with somebody who nobody knows. He's actually working with this other nobody named Robert T. Green. And at the end of the day, his fee structure and what he does and how it flows, his mother is the president of the company. He's the CEO, and everything flows from him top down. So in normal situations where the agent gets involved and they cut this in 4, 5, 6 pieces, just a quick example, Snickers want to give you a $50,000 endorsement. The agent says, no, we want 100. Kid has no idea about it. Now, at the end of the day, at the same time now, if Snickers says, okay, we take 50, the agent says, well, we want 25,000, tells the kid he only got 25,000, kid still doesn't know. 3, 4, 5 times, they give the kid the remaining of it.
And you're right because, again, I'm just letting you guys know for those that don't know, I'm related to Michael Vick, and Mike and Marcus, those are my cousins. Now, I remember when Mike was his first year in the league, as he was getting ready for the NFL draft, after he got drafted, he was negotiating, getting the agent, getting the financial advisor, and he was meeting with Jim Kelly's brother. And Jim Kelly brothers were in there when he was meeting with him and his mom, and Mike was texting me, telling me that Jim Kelly's brothers were trying to charge him 25 cents on the dollar. And they were showing him flow charts and things like that. But I guess to add with the great piece of information you shared is the stuff that you just shared, we have to continue sharing that. We have to kick in the front door. We have to get uncomfortable, like having these conversations. And the next step is awareness, like I said, and like you just shared with me and the rest of the listeners. We have to empower these kids to not just – it's okay to be a great player, but now what's your next step? Because everybody's eventually going to have to hang the cleats, the track spikes, and the basketball shoes up. So what is your next transitional plan? Like I said, we need more Marcus Hagans. We need more guys that can be and speak for themselves instead of just being captivated or prisoned by their athletic talent. And that's what happens with these kids. No one is thinking about the fact that all the talk, and I've shared stuff on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter about Zion and everything like that, but we have to start empowering these kids to say, okay, look at what LeBron's doing. Look what other guys who are not the LeBrons. These guys that go to great schools like Howard or UVA or Virginia Tech or whatever, and they come out with a degree, with a business sense where they can use the sport to their advantage instead of just being prisoners.
Yeah, we're waiting for that ESPN 30 to put that out. Like, they going to do it, right? The worldwide leader.
We're going
to have to do it.
I'm going to tell you something. You got the guys right here. This conversation, I've heard all the trash this morning, First Take, Undisputed. It's all about whether Zion should play. That's why I support Hawk and a lot of people like him, because this is the kind of conversations need to be having, because this makes, as Ahmad said it when the show started, this makes people uncomfortable because it's a trendsetter. You're changing the narrative and basically giving the guys that play the platform, and that makes people uncomfortable, because the NCAA, they're traditionalists. Oh, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. This is how it's going to be. You play for
Yep.
me. You can't take that. You can't do that. You can't speak. You can't go here. You have to answer this press conference. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you guys and the insight. I appreciate you sharing that, Hawk. I'm going to keep listening. I got to go coach my son. Good luck, brother.
All right, bro. Good luck to him, man. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, Hawk, that was big, and he said a lot of great things. But the first, it's not the most important, but just being a UVA fan, that one of the biggest things that stuck out to me was how he spoke on how Coach K early years kind of reminded him of Tony Bennett. I'm not going to say Coach K's first couple years, but
I think he was talking about Coach Cal. I think he meant Coach Cal.
No. I'm talking about Coach K. Coach K, because Coach K went through a 5 to 6 year span at Duke when they were trash. When he said he wasn't going to recruit one and done players, and you know how ESPN over the past since the first Duke and UVA game, they were playing the old school games, and then Carolina and Duke this week. And I just watched one. I just watched one last night or yesterday afternoon, and Duke was the worst team in the ACC, like 07-08. Like they were the worst team in the league, and they don't play Carolina until like the last 3 weeks of the regular season every year. You know what I'm saying? And Coach K could not win. Coach K could not win with. He could not coach up players. I guess I could say that. He couldn't win. He couldn't coach up players.
Yeah, you're right. He was talking about Coach K. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Coach K had the Ron Pauluses and all those players, they were trash. They were the worst team in the ACC.
Quick trivia for you, Javale. Quick trivia for you. Then you keep going. Who was the first one and done player he had?
I want to say Elton Brand.
Corey McGetty.
That was the same recruiting class, though, right? They was there together, though, right?
Remember, everybody thought he was crazy for being one and done, because remember, Corey didn't really do too much.
Yeah.
For a one and done. But he was super athletic. He had the body already.
Yeah. And Coach K hated that. He was one of the coaches who said one and dones will never, it's horrible for college basketball, this, that, and the third. And when he said that, Duke went from the Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, Christian Laettner years to being trash. They were horrible.
That's why he said
they were horrible. And then after that, he was like, "Oh no, I gotta get these one and done players."
Go ahead. Who up next? Who ain't spoke yet? That just came into the building. 757-367. What's good with you? What's up, babe?
Yo, this Mike, man. What's good?
Mike, what up, man? What up, baby?
Ain't nothing, man. I had to, chime in. He said Duke was trash, man. Duke ain't never been trash. After that,
Duke is. Hold on, bro.
He's never been trash.
He's not old enough. He's not old enough. He's not old enough.
He's 40. He old enough.
Okay.
He old enough.
Duke ain't never been trash, bro. When they won the title, they won the title.
Hey, bro. Hey, listen. I know for a fact that there was a 3 or 4 year span where Duke was 2 or 3 of the worst teams in the ACC.
Hold on, let me Hold on. Let me school you. You're correct.
My fault.
When they had Jeff Capel in them, when Coach K actually had back surgery, I think that was the '95 season. Duke was a little trashy then. You understand what I'm saying?
Maybe a little trashy. He asked
maybe 1 or 2 years, but it was nothing sustainable. Duke has never been trash, bro. Never.
2006, 2007, it was 8-8 in the ACC, but they still went to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's any other team that goes 500 in their conference does not make the NCAA tournament other than Duke.
94, 95, Coach K and them missed. That they was trashy that year, but I mean
that's the back surgery.
Yeah. That's the back surgery. 95, 94, 95. Okay.
Yeah, okay, and my last thing on this point, but he
was trashy. His first 3 years he was trashy, but since he became known,
right.
Yeah,
but one thing that stuck out to me today when it came to this Zion situation in college athletes, in particular basketball, First Take, Master P was on there today, right?
Oh, word?
He brought up a name. Yeah, he was on First Take today because Stephen A. is somewhere else. He's not in the studio. So all this week they've been having guest commentators on there with Matt.
Okay.
And
They have.
You're right. Master P was on there today, and he brought up a name I remember, but I never thought about. He's good friends with Livingston from LSU. And he had an injury, something like Zion had last night, but he rushed back, and he never regained. Because when he was at LSU, Livingston was a baller because he came like shortly after Chris Jackson or whatever his name is now, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
He know his name, man. That's messed up.
No, I'm saying. No, I know him as Chris Jackson. I didn't know his Muslim name. That's what I meant. You know what I'm saying? And that was a name that came to my mind because Livingston was a baller. He was like a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he got hurt, and he rushed back, and he never regained that aura and that mystique that he had as a top 10 pick. And that made me think, like for real. You know, and it's almost like Zion is the first college player that has been injured, and we still don't know the severity of the injury, but it's almost like
day-to-day.
You will never know what it is until he goes to a third opinion. Not even a second. Not anything Duke and NCAA do.
So my point is, check me out. My point is, this could be a trendsetter just because basketball, you usually don't have those career-ending injuries like football. It's almost like just like the past 2-3 seasons, these football players say, hey, is my team not in the Final Four or going for national championship, we ain't playing no more.
30 bowl players didn't make it.
We said no.
I take pride in that.
But to
me, there's no difference. Zion has just been the most high profile basketball player to suffer an injury. Anybody else from here on out, it could be a problem. It could be a problem in basketball.
But you remember,
Bo got hurt. He said he done regardless.
Oh yeah, but he was after his injury was season ending though, right? In Oregon,
I'm just saying, he ain't even trying to cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, I'm done. I'm getting surgery. I'm done. I ain't gonna try to play through it. I ain't gonna try to tough it out. I'm done. Done.
I don't know how many people here play college sports, but people that play college sports know how these coaches get down, know how these schools get down. And until what really has to happen is until some of these athletes, and not so much us old guys that been there, done that, but till some of these young guys, literally like a year out, like the guy Ray McCann talked about North Carolina, everybody went crazy. God, we don't get no real grades. This is the dumbest education ever. So ESPN cover it. What you think they're gonna say? No, he's right. No, that's their bread and butter. Until a group of athletes really put out there how this stuff really works, about the cortisone shots, about the fake treatment, about what's really going on with your injuries, about the classes that you really didn't take, the education they screaming up and down, to the 80-hour, 40 hours in football, but the strength coach don't go against that time. So your coach is basically cursing you out to make you want to punch yourself in the face or him in the face, and then you start putting that stuff out there with a lawyer, then that's what's going to keep on happening. But like I said, it ain't never been nothing. NCAA ain't going to change anything. It's going to be the kids and the families.
It still all comes down to money. It still all comes down to money because one thing I realized last night, 2-3 years ago when the UNC scandal came out with the players that won the class and they were fake, all this. Well, last night when I was watching the marathon of Duke UVA, they go from like the top 10, 6 or 7 games from the least to the best, right? But Rashawn McCants was the biggest UNC whistleblower. Like he was all up in it, but they played that game last night when he was one of the best players on the court. You know what I'm saying?
That dude's so trash.
My point is, ESPN and UNC still put on a game that was, even though it was years ago, there was a lot of viewers who watched the countdown, especially Duke and UNC fans. And Rashawn McCants was one of the best players on the court.
That's why it's not about education. It's about money, period. And that's why the players need to get theirs. Because they can't play for
I agree.
And Zion
they cheap labor. Yeah.
All right, so let me.
So bottom line.
Put that in perspective right now. If somebody told you right now, and again, everybody put in 2 weeks' notices on their job. You ever tell anybody why you put your 2 weeks' notice in? You explain that to anybody? Oh, reason why I'm leaving another job because the other job going to pay $100 million more. Oh, so you now going to wonder what they got to say about you when you collect that $100 million? That's what Zion looking at today if he doesn't play. Right now, every sneaker company is offering $100 million tomorrow to leave Duke today. And in business, it's crazy not to do that.
So should Zion never step on a Duke or ACC or NCAA tournament floor again?
Absolutely. $100 million says he should today.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow. Not about whatever. It's tomorrow. You can't get that back. He gets hurt again and see what happens.
Hey, let me get our new caller in here. My dog from the 310, JaVale's favorite caller, because he cursed him out before he even get 3 words out last Thursday. Hey, what's good with you, friend?
I apologize. I apologize. Hey, first of all,
I know I'm joking,
apologize.
JaVale. He know I'm joking. Everybody.
Okay.
They take me tongue in cheek, dog. They taking me tongue in cheek. But go ahead, fam, because he called the first time and he got lagged out. What's good with you, bro?
Hey guys, not too much. So I love the takes that you guys are taking here. I think, should Zion play again? If I'm Zion, I don't play again for the broader stance of what I think it could mean for everything, right? Like, look, I'm actually somewhere in between on whether the NCAA should pay college athletes, because, like, I'll say this. I played baseball when I was in, like, college. Should they have paid me to do that? I don't know, man. I didn't bring, like, $1 into the – I don't think one person ever paid $1 to see me do anything. And so, like, should they have been paying me? Not necessarily. But here's what I don't like about the NCAA, and here's what I find to be BS. Even if the NCAA does not pay you, it is complete BS that you cannot make money off of your own likeness when you're in college. If your college is selling a jersey with your number on the back just because it doesn't have your name, you should get 25% of that. If you want to sign a $100 million contract with Nike the second that you enter college, you should be able to do that. If you want to freaking do local television commercials for a car dealership or Subway, you should be able to do that. Now, once again, this would solve almost all the problems, because let's go back to me as an example. No one was going to pay me any money for the right to my likeness. Thus, what is my worth? Nothing. They were allowing me to go to college for a cheaper price because I played a sport. My name, my likeness, my presence was worth nothing to them fiscally or anyone else fiscally, and thus I shouldn't make any money, because that's friggin' America. That's
technically not true. You just don't see the money. The coach got paid.
Of course.
They use that money to fund other things. So you devalue yourself, and that's what you're saying. You mentioned 25%.
I don't
so we talk about America. That's capitalism, right? That's capitalism. Right. That's still capitalism. So how do you differentiate between an NCAA football player or a basketball player or a baseball player or a hockey player or a field hockey player, because those sports revenue, and it generates a different amount of revenue for the institution. I think that's the biggest issue with the NCAA.
Do they pay the coaches differently? Do they pay the assistants different? Do they pay the trainers different? Do the sports reporters? Do they pay the announcers different? Do they figure all that numbers out?
I agree with
without them, there would be no money to be made.
To me, it's relatively simple, right? Like, let's say, because this is a big deal, right? Like, getting a free college education is not nothing, right? Like, if I'd gone to college and had to pay for it, I would have walked out $400,000 in debt, right? So let's just take the value of your average. Let's take it out of basketball. Okay, let's take the value of your average offensive lineman at, like, a D1 school. So, like, is the value that they've brought into the school over, say, $400,000? The answer is maybe. So let's say the answer is $450,000. The argument you could make then is, should the school be divvying up whatever additional funds that the player is bringing into the school beyond what it would cost to be educated and housed there, and pay them out? I think you could make an argument that the answer is absolutely yes. Do I think that will happen, though? No. And so what I'm trying to tackle initially, right, is the problems that are staring us in the face. It is absurd right now that Zion Williamson cannot sign a Nike deal today and make $100 million. It's absurd that R.J. Barrett can't sign a Nike deal today and make $15 million. These guys should be able to sign contracts.
But Kyler Murray could sign for $4 million in MLB and still play. But
right.
Go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you off.
And
go
then,
ahead.
Right. No. And then, like, so to me, then, what's important and kind of building off of the last thing is when the NBA lifts the ban on players coming from high school straight to the pros, what I want to make sure that the NBA does is I hope there is a private business, or I really hope the NBA creates a business that doesn't waste time giving these guys education on, you know, political science or all that stuff that you take to get an easy A in college because you don't have to show up to the class. I really hope that they give them practical education that they're forced to take on mathematics, business management, contract negotiation, the things that they're going to be dealing with when you go to the pros. And this is the big one. If you declare for the NBA draft and you do not like where you are drafted, meaning if it's in the second round and you don't like the fact that you went in the second round or you do not get drafted, you can go to college, right? You can say, my draft rights are with the Toronto Raptors, but I'm going to college for a year. I don't really know the exact answer to that, but like, just because you declare for the draft, just because you make a move professionally, just because you play in Europe for a year, should no longer mean that you have to forfeit being able to go to college. What we need to do before we overhaul the whole system is get rid of this low-hanging fruit BS that the NCAA can stop athletes from playing college sports because they made $20,000 in a European league, or they declared for the NBA draft, or they signed autographs and got paid for it, or someone gave them a car. Get off of that BS. Like, we need to get rid of that crap.
Cheap play. That company already exists. It's called prepostgame.com. You can check it out. That business model is in place and intact. But again, it's not. Yeah, check that out. Prepostgame.com does exactly that from the start.
I think Darian has something to say. Go ahead, Darian.
Hey, so from the just coming up, say from an NFL side, like I love everybody y'all see, like all y'all points is like real, like real good. I was gonna go from a entertainment standpoint. I'll say that for a second though, but for the say like a player like Jadeveon Clowney, right? When Jadeveon Clowney was coming out, he was probably one of the biggest stars just off of one season, and the fact of how tall and the athlete that he was. You know, they killed him for that next season, even though he didn't want to play. He was debating on the sitting out. They were killing him. The NFL actually try to use that against them. So what do you do when you try to combat that?
It wasn't the NFL, his future employer. It was the NCAA who wanted to use him more money. So again, they know what these kids watch. So again, you talk about when you go to work tomorrow. Are you going to work tomorrow for your coworker and what they gonna get on their check, or for you and your family? You can't keep separating anything about teams. It's a job. Playing college football is a job. Anybody that played it knows that. So at the end of the day, you got to treat it as such, and the people around you
everybody's
treat it as such.
All right, so check this out. I just want to let hold on. Let me just say something. So everybody that's just called in, you're off mute. The phone lines will close automatically in the next 2 minutes, but we still gonna rock. But if you're trying to call you on the stream, you need to call in right now. But everybody's off mute. I want to say this point. Let the new callers chime in. My biggest proposal is that, and I said it earlier, I want the NCAA to allow each athlete to maintain their likeness rights. So you can have a YouTube channel, having a day in the life of a D1 athlete and monetize it. There shouldn't be a kicker for UCF having a cult following, and all of a sudden NCAA like, wait a minute, we can't make money off you. Either choose a scholarship or choose YouTube. If that's the case, then I'm going to implore that young men and women that want to go to college for sports, go get high marks, and if UVA is recruiting you, see if you get an academic scholarship. And if you get an academic scholarship, take that academic scholarship and just walk on. So now the NCAA can't touch you. If you remember Convicts versus the Notre Dame versus Miami 30 for 30, dude was making them T-shirts. And he only started getting in trouble once they gave him a scholarship. But before then, they didn't mess with him. So it just seemed I just want them to have
way to go to school. That's always been legit. But they know who they want to try to come play in the college sports.
What's good with you, baby?
Not much, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a kid like Zion Williams, we dealing with a different level of star talent. You know, I mean, for the first time, I've never watched a basketball game in Cameron where all the air was let out of that building. And, you know, I've never seen Jay-Z, King Griffey Jr., Obama, Spike Lee in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Floyd Mayweather came to Duke. Floyd Mayweather.
See, what I'm saying, this is a different level of star talent. Now, a kid like Zion, his stuff is already laid out. Now, I understand everybody discussing what he should do, what he shouldn't do. His stuff is already laid out. His parents played sports in college. You know, if Duke could have played him last night, they would have. But his dad was back there in that hallway with that trainer saying, "No, he ain't going back out there."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this kid, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, I talked to my manager yesterday. I said he told him way before the game had started, if Zion was my kid, he would not be playing. If Duke wanted him to play, they got to go get the big bag. Because you got to look at the money he generated for that one game. A college basketball game had tickets that were sold for close to Super Bowl price. And he didn't see one dime of it.
You know these coaches get bonuses too, and these schools get bonuses as well that nobody ever puts out there publicly too. So don't think Coach K is benefit off of that.
I think
Coach K is the one benefiting from what's going on. Yes, he's a great coach. I'm not going to take nothing from him, but you can't be a great coach without great talent.
So you are 100% right here, right? And I mean, to me, the most offensive one is actually college football and not basketball. Because if you look at college football, right, one, you need to stay there for 3 years. Two, at least in the NBA, right, you get there and you have a guaranteed contract, and if you're good, you can be in the league for 13 years, right? Think about if you're a running back in college, right? You're putting all of this mileage on your body, and you basically have at this point a 7 to 8 year shelf life, almost max in the league, and they can cut you whenever they want. Like
Todd Gurley, that's a high. You talking about a high risk position, and you're not going to be 18, 19 years old and go play in the league in the NFL with grown men. Like, that's a different story. But in the NBA, it's less contact. It's more spacing than what people really think it is. It allows you to be athletic. They're going to put it's going to be certain players they're going to put in position to succeed. They're going to script in a certain amount of shots. Hey, we got to get this guy right here 10 shots. Find a way to get him 10 shots.
Hey, I kind of take heed to what you said about necessarily about being a football player, because to me, depending on the position, like so, just for example, Adrian Peterson was a man child coming out of high school. You don't think he could have went right to the NFL? Maybe not been a superstar, but
it's a couple. It's a
couple. Those are few and far between, though.
Yeah, it's a couple.
I'm just saying. I'm just using an example. Or certain offensive linemen or defensive linemen or you know, I'm just saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. But when it comes to that situation, you're gonna have the skeptics who say, well, what's the difference? If it's professional athletes, it's professional athletes.
The difference is less contact.
It's the contact.
But I made that point. I don't know if you were on here. I made that point about 30, 45 minutes ago. I said the same thing. So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate in that situation. That's all.
Also, in basketball, you're allowed to have a certain skill set. Like, you could just be a shooter. I don't have to be touched at all. No, I can shoot the basketball.
The point that I was trying to make, right, is not could they go to the pros. The point is that because the shelf life on these years these guys' careers is so short, and big college football programs are bringing in millions of dollars to these schools, these guys should be paid. Like, those college football players at big-time schools should be paid because their careers don't have the potential to be that long due to the sport that they play. And to have to sit there and let your body get, beat up for 3 years and make no money from it is, and the University of Alabama, you really think that they're
go ahead, Les.
Go ahead.
This is what I got to say, Hawk. There's a lot of good points being made, but let me break it down like this. When Nick Saban went into Jalen Hurts' house, did he say, Jalen, come check our history program or our chemistry program we got here, or this is where we think we can get you to get you ready for the NFL? So people act like these kids are getting a free college education. They ain't recruiting them for free college education. They're doing it to bring in to get W's, which fills their pockets up, which fills the AD's pockets up, which fills the president's pockets up, which fills all these guys who are here to these bowls and everything else to fill their pockets up. And that's why they're recruiting these cats. Let's don't sit here and bullshit each other. That's what these cats are doing. They're making millions of dollars.
Zion is not there to go to school. Zion is only there to do his 9 months and be gone. You know, I mean, but the other thing about the other difference between basketball and football is the basketball players are far more visible. You can see them and identify who they are. You got a lot of good football players walking around right now. Somebody don't know who they are. People don't know who they are because they wear helmets.
But the point is, and these are all great points, because we're allowing these guys to make these kind of arguments, right? We were all 18 once, right? And if I had a big famous – No.
But let's put it on the table. Let's put the real thing on the table. This only takes place in 2 sports. This only happens in 2 sports.
What this conversation is mainly about is 2 different sports, right? Like, I do think that this conversation becomes infinitely more complex when you start talking about sports.
Because the kids have to go to school. They have to go to school at least do a year.
But we don't know. The first semester. Hold on. I don't agree with that, because the first semester is over. So we don't know if Zion's even going to class right now. We don't know if Zion or Barrett or Reddish are even going to class right now, because it doesn't matter if they're going to declare for the draft. They don't have to be in class right now to still be playing.
Hey, Ben Simmons showed us in his documentary on Showtime. You know, he majored in basketball.
So even though Zion was hurt last night, this is now almost the end of February, the beginning of March. Zion is still eligible to play, and he doesn't have to attend the class since before Christmas at Duke. Not saying it's right or wrong, but the class element when it comes to a one and done kid, it really doesn't matter. As long as they get those grades that first semester, he's good. And that's all the NCAA and that institution, college or university, cares about.
So like, look,
great point.
No, but so here's my main thing, because I actually think this conversation needs to be separated from Zion, because look, like, you can't look at probably the best college basketball player since Kevin Durant, or the most famous pre-pro athlete since LeBron James, and say, and really try and apply the system to him. Zion's better than the system. He's bigger than the system. Like, he's a once every 10-year player, probably. Like, at the very least.
So why penalize?
So why is that? That's because of YouTube and Facebook and social media. Zion became Zion because of social media. And as I stated earlier, as a basketball player, he's a phenomenon, and he's going to sell tickets. But as an actual basketball player, I would probably say that Barrett is better, or maybe even Morant. Like there are better freshmen or sophomore basketball players in NCAA that are better. They may not be the physical specimen he is. They may not have the dunks like he does. But as far as a basketball player, there are players in college better than Zion as of this moment in time. And
I can't say RJ is better. You couldn't win them the game yesterday. How could you say RJ is better?
John Morant has a glaring.
Wait a minute. We gotta look at Zion numbers now. What he's doing. We can't just say that guys are better than him now. We talking about the second league scorer in the ACC.
When 70% of your points are coming off of dunks or within 3 feet from the basket. You can't talk to me about he's on LeBron's level.
He's a paint player, though.
Okay, but
here's
the thing is,
75% of his points are coming 3 feet from the basket.
He's showing you.
No.
Hold up. JaVale. I got something to ask you, JaVale. Hold on. The same thing you criticized Zion about, you praised Antetokounmpo and said he an MVP. Remember that now.
No, but he has developed. Again, you can't compare an NBA 5 or 6 year player.
I'm not. I'm talking about
his game. Giannis' game is so much. Giannis has improved every year.
Bro. Listen to what I'm saying. He can stop what? He can do what? Don't say he can shoot. Don't say that. Don't say he can
his
shoot.
Numbers. Are you laughing? His numbers have improved. His numbers.
Can he shoot?
His mid-range has improved.
Okay, how was Giannis at 19?
Wait, so I guess
I don't want to compare. I don't want to compare Zion and LeBron or Zion.
I don't want to compare.
I'm talking about.
I'm not. Zion has shown you a jump shot. He's showing you
a jump shot. What jump shot you seen from Zion this year?
He's showing
Come on, man.
No, he done hit threes. He hit threes every game. JaVale.
Wait, quickly.
You act like he's 24 just off a nugget.
Come on, bro.
So
like
the problem So the problem in how you're analyzing Zion is you're trying Zion is most comparable to Shaq, not to Zion would be the second heaviest player. Shaq was the second heaviest player in the NBA right now. He would be the second heaviest player in the NBA right now.
No,
second heaviest player in the NBA right now.
No.
He'd be the second heaviest player in the NBA right now.
As I said, Charles Barkley and Zion are the most comparable players that you can get at that position.
I got a question.
Those are the most comparable players.
JaVale, I got a question.
260.
Okay, go ahead.
It's his job to get the most high percentage shot, right? So if nobody can stop him from getting to the rim, what is the point of him wasting his time shooting a bunch of jump shots like very good if he's over here killing folks, if he can get to the rim whenever he wants to?
And that separates college from the NBA game. He's not going to be able to do that next year in the NBA. He's not going to be able to do that in the NBA next year.
Okay. And look how good he is on the defensive end. People forget how good he is on the defensive end.
Exactly. That's a big.
Okay. How good was Duke last night without him?
They were
they
got beat. They got beat by 16 points.
That was Duke last night. And whose fault is that? And Duke, they got 3 other players.
JaVale, can I ask you a question, brother, about R.J. Barrett? How come it takes him 18 shots to average 23 points?
Because he shoots doubles. He shoots doubles and Zion doesn't. So it's harder to make 20 or 30 foot doubles.
JaVale, but doesn't shot selection play a role? He takes some of the worst shots I've seen this year. You saw that yesterday versus UNC.
Well, you can say that for everybody. You can say that for Cam Reddish, and he still predicted to go 5 or 6 in the draft.
But
here's the other argument.
Hold on. It doesn't matter about how many shots you take or your shot selection, and he's still the leading scorer of the ACC as a freshman.
Now he's taking 18. He's good, bro.
Can I ask you one question?
I'm just saying.
I want to ask him one question.
What makes anybody say that Zion's game is that much better than Barrett's?
Duke was an average basketball team last night without him.
What player
you as a UVA fan, if Zion was to get hurt versus UVA, your confidence would go through the roof.
Through the roof, so we can get to the bucket. We can get to the bucket.
Listen. Don't speak for me. Don't speak for me.
Let's be real.
Because no. Because before the UVA Duke game 2 weeks ago, I was questioning about playing zone because Duke shoots 31% from 3-point. They're like the bottom 5 in NCAA from 3-point percentage, and then the second worst team. Let me finish. They're the second worst team in NCAA this year shooting against the zone. Okay?
Yeah.
So I was just throwing it out there. But the game plan that Tony Bennett had against Duke was closing up the middle and making them shoot threes. That was a good game plan. But Duke shot their best game of the year. The best game of the year.
What was
so
even
Zion, let me finish. You asked me a question.
What was his numbers versus UVA? What was his numbers versus UVA? What was Zion numbers versus UVA?
It wasn't Zion. It was the perimeter shooting. It wasn't Zion.
I ain't asked you that. I said, what was his numbers versus UVA?
Zion wasn't the reason that we lost.
I got it.
What was his numbers versus the pack line defense?
That wasn't the reason we lost. It was because they were 13. They made 13 threes. That's why we lost that game. It wasn't Zion. It was the 3-point
question. I got another question, JaVale. So you talking about with Zion doing all these dunks and stuff, whatever, and that's mostly his percentage. Blake Griffin coming out, all he did was dunk. In the NBA, he transferred just fine, but he still averaged 20 and 10 a night, right? And he was still a star.
No, but I think.
So why are you going to kill Zion for?
Go ahead. He wants RJ Barrett.
So Zion might be getting 2 dunks a game. He might be getting 2 dunks a game.
I think what's also key here, though. I think what's also key, right, is that we need to remember here, like, Zion's position in the NBA is probably he's going to be able to be a center. Anyone that thinks he's not going to be able to be a center is wrong.
What?
And so he's not.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Anyone that doesn't think the NBA has
been it's only one. It's only one that plays center. It's only one, and that's Draymond. That's the only one that
Draymond
plays.
Zion Williams can absolutely be Draymond. Like, for you to think that he can't have that part of his game, this guy is max effort. That's the other thing.
That's a good point.
Max effort.
That's a good point.
When you look at RJ Barrett, you know who RJ Barrett is? He's Rudy Gay. RJ Barrett's ceiling is to be Rudy Gay. Like, he shoots 33% from 3. He takes 18 shots a game to get 23 points. He's an inefficiency nightmare. And Zion takes basically half the shot at the same amount of points and shoots 30% from 3. He shoots 30% from 3
and he shoots 69% from the free throw line.
And he shoots 70% from the foul line.
You know what? I heard somebody today compare NBA to what their potential is coming out of college to Barrett today, and I didn't agree with it, and I thought about it. You know who it was? James Harden.
They said James Harden. I heard that too.
And James Harden stayed in college for 3 years, and Barrett is going after 1 year. So for people who says that it's more important to leave college and go to the NBA to learn their game, I don't agree with that in all aspects and all players, because James Harden coming out of Arizona State was good. He was a great college player, but he still stayed there 3 seasons.
He had to. He wasn't on the draft boards, bro. He had to. He was on the draft board. He wasn't developed yet.
Again, my point is the difference in 8 to 10 years is totally different. Just like 8 to 10 years ago, most of Coach K's players were staying 2-3 years. He wasn't having these one-and-done players. That's my point. So it's not always a detriment for kids to stay 2, maybe 3 years, and they're still going to be valuable professionals and make their money. And the salary caps always go up.
They still lose money, though. You can never make money up. If you stay another year and you drop some slots in what you would have went the year before, you lost money. You can never make that up.
But how many players drop? Unless it comes to injuries, how many players drop? Without injuries.
Can I ask someone a simpler question? Can I ask someone a simpler question, just like the easiest one, right? If we're going to write off what Zion's doing as so easy, can you name me the last NCAA player that did this? If this is so easy, like, who's the last guy that did this?
I got a better question.
Who does this?
Go ahead, Les.
Name the only Duke player, and I'm gonna give you a hint. It ain't RJ Barrett, who's in the top 10 in 7 different categories in the ACC.
Damn.
Zion Williamson. It ain't RJ Barrett. Zion Williamson leads the ACC in steals. He's up at the top in block shots. Don't tell me that kid can't play. He's a freaking matchup nightmare for
This is
anybody.
what I'm saying. Like,
and you remember before he came into college, how folks didn't think he was going to do anything because he was dunking on little white dudes in every video. You remember that, Bean?
Now he's dunking on big black dudes, man.
And I'm not saying that Zion Williamson's going to show up to the NBA and in year one just dunk all over Anthony Davis, right? That's not going to happen either. But what I'm saying is you can't fault the guy for absolutely just destroying college. Like, I can't, like, who's done this? No, this doesn't happen very often. Like, Durant was good. I remember him being pretty good. Anthony Davis was really impressive. Like, who does this?
Basketball is about putting the ball in the bucket, right? That's what sells tickets. That's what everybody gets hyped about, right? Who's the best scorer for the most part? Right or wrong?
Dunk sell tickets though.
But Barrett averages more points.
Barrett averages more points. Hey, yo, if it was all about scoring buckets, why was
defense?
He played the Matador defense on Cam Johnson last night.
Yeah, he don't play no defense.
He played the swinging gate defense last night.
Hey, JaVale, who leads the NCAA in scoring, you know?
Huh? Who leads the NCAA in scoring?
Yeah, who leads them in scoring? Since it's all about scoring, because we don't know who that dude is right offhand, though. You see what I'm saying? Like,
is it Ja? It's not Ja, is it?
No, I'm gonna look it up now. But when we talk about leading scores, it's Chris Clemens averaging 29.8. We don't talk about him. You said it's all about scoring.
That's a dude from Murray State.
The other thing I'll say.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing I'll say.
What I'm saying is Zion gets that because it's Duke. I mean, come on, man.
Zion gets that everywhere he goes. What are we talking about? He's still going to be the same player. It translates everywhere else.
Both of them translate everywhere they go.
So listen. So if you are the Knicks or whoever gets the number one pick, are you going off best potential? Because that's what we hear about the NBA. That's why they like players that come out young, because of the potential and what they can teach them to be.
Yes.
Box office. That's what you're going, box office.
Lottery, you're going off that revenue right now.
It's about money, though. It's about money, right? It's about money.
Zion is that rare opportunity to take the best player now, the player with the most potential, and the player with the most box office. If you have the number one pick and you don't take Zion, you need to be fired yesterday.
How many times after LeBron has a number one pick not panned out? It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Number two picks don't pan out too, fam. Just ask Carmelo, who was drafted before him.
Come on, you a Carmelo fan. Don't do that.
I said the dude drafted before Melo. I said the dude drafted before Melo. Do you remember what?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. You right.
Yeah. And do you remember?
You remember Sam Bowie?
Darko,
yeah. They are players. Zion is polarizing. 2 or 3 players that have. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there are 2 or 3 players in college basketball right now that some GMs or owners or player personnel feels that has a higher upside than Zion. Not dollar-wise, and Barrett is one of them. Barrett is a Jason Tatum. Prime example. Look at Jason Tatum's year.
Okay. I got you. I got a question for you, fam, and be honest, okay? Because this is important when you come to players and just fitting in, because it really shows their skill set. Who would be able to transition into the style of play that we use here at UVA better, Barrett or Zion?
Wait. Be able to transition into the NBA better?
No. Playing UVA pack line defense in the style that we play. Who would be able to adapt?
He asked me that question, and as a UVA fan, I would say Zion because Barrett has not shown that he can play defense yet. That's May was juicing him up last night. Like he's like what Barrett. Hey, I tell you what, a prime example.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to off topic, but to answer your question, I think Zion would fit in to that Isaiah Wilkins, Akil Mitchell type of defensive player. Okay, to answer your question, but I do feel that the NBA is all about, at least in the regular season, is offense. It's offense. Okay. Like you really don't see defense in the NBA until the playoffs.
All right. So with that being said, if we go to the NBA right now and we look at every team on the roster, who can be a better chameleon and do things to remain on the court more? Because NBA scouts look at that. Who can I allow to stay on the floor more?
So
the biggest thing that you said there, right?
His size, strength, and his skill set on offense is Barrett. Barrett can do more on the offensive end than Zion.
Really.
And Zion is a better
really,
defensive player than Barrett is.
That's not really true, because you got to remember what's happened in the NBA recently, right?
Okay. I get it.
The NBA has spent, and I got to hop off soon, so I just want to make a quick point. The NBA has spent the last 5 years basically saying the center position is useless, right? So at this point you have Davis, Embiid, and a handful of centers that are still players you can have on the court at the end of the game. So you've spent 5 years making players lighter, thinning players out, like making it so that, like, really for the most part you have a bunch of guys that are under 250 pounds. And now all of a sudden you're going to bring this guy into the NBA who could dribble, move, block shots, play deep, shoot a little bit, he can shoot enough, and go to the rim with reckless abandon. And you're either going to have to defend this guy with your end-of-the-game spread-the-floor center who he's going to murder, or put a big center out there who he's going to go right around. This league,
but 4 or 5 inches in the NBA is different. He's not going to be able to be an effective 6'8" center against 6'11".
But he's still 270. He's still a locomotive train.
He's 285. He's 285. He's bigger than
285, bro.
We got to factor that in.
R.J. Barrett is Malik Monk. R.J. Barrett is Malik Monk.
Hey, they fired shots at R.J. Hey.
R.J. Barrett might be fine. I don't know. It's just,
and it kind of.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's you. It was somebody echoing. It was somebody.
Zion's gonna. I'm telling you, next year Zion, and I really hope that he goes, like, whoever gets Zion Williamson, I really truly believe their franchise is going to change. I really truly believe this is the best guy that's come out since Davis. He's the best guy that's come out since Durant. Like, if you're looking at, I mean, I really think the question is not, do number one picks bust out. It's like, how often when people come out into the draft where people are like, that guy is a can't miss, do they bust out? It's not very often. It's like Greg Oden, and he didn't bust out because he was bad. He busted out because his knees gave out on him. Like, almost any time that they call it, like, basketball is the most predictable sport. Like, what you see happen generally translates and happens. The best team almost always wins. The best player almost always continues to be good. This guy is not going to be a bust. He's going to be really.
You have to be able to shoot the ball. You have to be able to be a shooter.
But he can shoot enough.
But he showed himself to be more of a volume shooter, though.
He can. And LeBron James cannot. He's not a prolific 3-point shooter or jump shot shooter, but his game was more physical. Zion Williams and LeBron may be the same height.
LeBron game was more physical.
LeBron can shoot threes now. No. My man said Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and maybe
he's talking about the talent. He's talking about the talent. He's
talking about their position. He's talking about their position.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about talent.
Zion Williams is not on your level.
Came out that were
He's
can't
talking about talent, bro.
Those are
like the
guys
impact
that came out that are can't miss.
I'm just talking about when he comes out.
If Kevin Durant couldn't even bench press 125, 30 pounds 10 times when he came out, he's frail, but he can shoot. He's athletic. Okay. He can get to the hole. Zion Williams might be strong. He might be powerful. But when teams force him to be on the perimeter, he's a lost cause. If Who can Zion not go around? Who can Zion not go around? Who can he not go around?
You do know he got handles, right?
285-pound guy.
Who can he not go around?
All right. So here's my main point about him okay, so let's say he's not a center. How in the world is a small forward in the NBA going to force Zion Williamson to stay on the perimeter? He'll kill him. He'll kill those guys. He outweighs them by 100 pounds. He'll run them over.
I'm gonna make all y'all laugh right here. I'll guarantee you. You know how Draymond Green brings the ball up? I guarantee you he cannot bring the ball up the court on Zion Williamson. Guarantee. Okay, fine. Draymond Green cannot bring the ball up with Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Hey, how in the hell is Zion going to guard Kevin Durant?
He's the best in the NBA.
How in the hell is he going to guard?
Why does he have to guard Giannis? Why does he have to guard Giannis?
Hold on,
why would he guard?
JaVale, to answer your question, who guards them currently? There's only a select few that guards them currently. So, yes, if you talk about Kevin Durant, he kills everybody. You talking about Giannis, he kills everybody. But you even said it in your soliloquy earlier about R.J. Barrett getting buckets. And you ain't worried about him playing no defense because don't nobody play defense. So if don't nobody play defense, don't that mean Zion going to be dunking a lot too?
And it kind of the same situation like
there's no way that y'all can tell me LeBron was a physical specimen out of high school, and if he had to go to
didn't have a jump shot.
Not like Zion.
He didn't have
Zion.
What you mean? Not like Zion? You come on.
He wasn't. You want me to go back and pull up his high school with what he weighed? No, he was skinny. He was slim.
Right.
He wasn't physical. Are you serious? He was a perimeter guy.
Zion's only 18 years old. The diet he's on right now is probably cafeteria pancakes and bacon, and like he works out on a college schedule. Like, what is this guy going to look like when they're like, he eats some salmon, and here's the right exercises to do? Like, this guy is not done growing. He's 18 years old. Like, who knows what this guy could look like in 2 years? The fact that he's this now is insane. Like, I'm sorry. I guess it's just like, I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest basketball player of all time, but to argue that you wouldn't take him number one overall, to me, is just
like,
insane argument.
It's kind of like the same situation like you said with the LeBron or Carmelo. When LeBron or Carmelo were coming out, everybody was saying Carmelo is the more skilled. He was the more skilled. He was the better scorer. He could shoot better than LeBron. They took LeBron number one because he could do everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
it's like,
point,
he can learn how to shoot, but he could do everything else. He could run the floor. He got vision. He got all that. Only thing that Carmelo was good at doing was putting the ball in the basket. But then I can't even say that about R.J. Barrett because he's more of a volume shooter than actually shooting, like being a good shooter. He's not even at the point that Carmelo was coming out of college. Like, I'll put him more so like a Jabari Parker, who they try to compare to Carmelo, who's been up here more like a volume shooter before he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to say that R.J. Barrett, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's doing all the shooting and stuff. Every time I see this man catch the rock, he's jacking the ball up. Every time I'm
he took bad shots last night. He took bad shots. Why is everybody speaking bad of him when they lose? Because
he had the chance. He had the chance to take over that game when Westman got hurt. When Westman got hurt, him and Cam Russell supposed to step up.
Okay. Well, my point is Zion was hurt last night against Carolina. Okay. Carolina was horrible from the three, just like Duke was, especially in the first half. And they still won by almost 20 points. So what happened in the Syracuse game? Okay, Zion was out, but they still shot horrible. Okay? What happened in the Gonzaga game? You know, so nobody talks about how bad is of a shooter unless they lose. But when they win, they still shoot horrible. Come on, man. They still shoot horrible percentages when they win. They still shoot horrible percentages, even if they win.
I always talked about his shooting. Are you serious, man? You talked about this. Now I dare R.J. Barrett to shoot a damn three and to shoot outside shot. He just happened to hit that game. But that was your narrative, too. Dare them to shoot.
That was that one game. I'm talking about all the other games when they win.
Bro, but we're saying the same thing. You basically helping the stands. You basically agreed that you don't care about R.J. shooting three. Why we keep saying
those those other games that they lost, weren't they really, really close games? It took active God from both teams to actually come and beat them boys.
Active God. Gonzaga beat them. That was in the Maui. They beat them. The Syracuse game, what's my man? I can't even remember my name right now. Syracuse. He was on point. He had like 35, 36 points. But my thing is when Duke loses, there's a narrative that Zion is out and this, that, the third. But Zion doesn't dominate every game that they win. And Barrett is the leading scorer.
Yeah,
Barrett is the leading scorer in the ACC.
Yeah, he is a leading scorer. He's a leading shot taker also, bro. Like, that's going to work hand in hand.
And he only outscored Zion.
He's the leading shot taker, so he should be the leading scorer. Just like as my other point when it comes to James Harden, when it comes to the NBA, he handles the ball and takes the most shots, so he should be leading the league, right? So that's the same.
I'd also say this. I'd also say this about Barrett, and this is why I compare it to Rudy Gay. What does that say about his IQ in terms of basketball? That he has a teammate who's shooting 80% from two,
in the paint,
and yet he's jacking up 18 shots a game while Zion takes 11. You know,
Zion's unselfish, man. Zion's unselfish.
He's unselfish. Hold on. How many times, honestly? Now, y'all tell me honestly. How many times have you seen Zion get the ball in the paint and use his footwork or his post presence to score? He gets mostly dunks and layups.
No, he doesn't. He gives you a shimmy and get back to his left hand.
Yeah, but
it's his footwork that gets him in position.
That may happen 2 to 5 times a game.
JaVale, let me ask you this. JaVale, can I ask you one question? You said R.J. Barrett has good handles. Why does he keep jacking up shots? Why don't he go to the cup? Why don't he go to the cup?
No, but here's the other thing. About that's the argument I don't get, because I would actually be more worried about Zion if the way he was getting his points was posting up on these smaller guys and then like putting in like a hook shot or something. The fact that he gets most of his points by taking people off the dribble, by getting to the basket with layups and things like that, is exactly why I think his game's going to translate very positively in the NBA.
He steals the ball from guards, bringing the ball up the floor.
And then I guarantee you,
he steals the ball from guards, bringing the ball up the court.
And then North Carolina wouldn't be going down the freeway like they were yesterday on the layup if Zion was in the game.
Exactly. Amen. Preach.
So preach. No, I ain't telling you. Preach. What y'all telling me is without Zion Williamson, Duke has no chance of winning that championship.
Everybody has a chance.
Pretty much.
Everybody has a chance.
Gonzaga and UVA are the best 2 teams in the country.
No.
You know why I say that?
I mean, I don't know.
You know why I say that they'll probably end up losing? Because it's not the same. Zion plays the defense and has that tenacity that's infectious to the rest of the team. When he was on that court, the boys will not be on defense like they normally are. They don't lock down or stay focused like they normally are focused. You know what I'm saying? You also have to have that energy guy too. He does all of that.
Here's the thing, though. Coach K made no adjustments last night. What does old Huckleberry Hound like to do? He likes chaotic basketball, okay? So he likes to run up and down the floor. All Carolina teams, that's what he does. Duke never done anything to adjust. Coach K looked like a freaking deer in headlights last night. He looked like a kid that somebody just took a popsicle from, and he was pouting up. That's what he made no adjustments last night. The game was chaotic, and that's what Carolina likes. That's why Carolina blew them out. That's why there was no adjustment.
Carolina runs up and down the court almost more than any other team in the country, and they get their points on the fast break. I agree 100% with what your comment was. Coach K was lost last night, and that goes back to my point. Is it's easier, and you can't be a great coach, in my opinion, without great players. And I don't like to use my boy and my Tony Bennett because I'm biased to that. But I feel that Jay Wright and Tony Bennett over the past 10 seasons have done the most with the less
Jay Wright's a great coach. Jay Wright's a
great coach. They got a system. They have a legit system. system is going to beat you.
Know what I'm saying?
It's easier to guys to transition into your program.
Let me ask you this. Everybody talks about Coach K, and he built Duke program up. Does anybody know Duke's record the year before Coach K took over and what they did? They were 24-7, and they were a Sweet 16 team. So he didn't take over a dumpster fire, man. He didn't take over a dumpster fire, Duke. Everybody acts like he reincarnated Duke. That's bull, man. I get tired of hearing that crap. They were 24-7 and a Sweet 16 team before he took over.
Well, I'm gonna give you some perspective about Duke. Let me give you perspective. 77-78, they won 27 games. 78-79, they won 22 games. 79-80, they won 24 games. And then Mike Successor get there, they won 17 games. So you're right.
Right. They were a Sweet 16 team the year before he got there.
Yep.
He didn't take over. Dude, I preach this shit to people all the time. They don't listen.
Took them 4 seasons to win 20 games. But look, man, we're going to have to wrap this up and hit our limit for today. So
I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it.
At the end, I let everybody, get a shout out and plug whatever they got going on, and because y'all the analysts, so y'all go one by one plug whatever you want. Let the people know where to find you, and definitely appreciate you being known. So who's gonna go first?
Yo, I go first. A very good conversation tonight, fellas. I like that. Hey, we didn't get on the NBA MVP, but I've heard a lot of things over the past 3 days between Giannis, between James Harden, and between Paul George. I think it's close, and I spoke to it a few minutes ago. James Harden touches the ball and controls the ball more than anybody. He has more touches over the past 3 seasons than anybody in the league, even Russell Westbrook. But I do think that Paul George this season has probably been the best two-way player in the league. And when it comes to Giannis, even though the East may not be as good as the West this season, he is leading the Bucks, who are the best team, not only record-wise in the East, but the NBA. And the big thing that people don't I'm not saying everybody doesn't know this, but people don't realize, when they spoke on the All-Star team and how LeBron drafted a lot of free agents this season, the Milwaukee Bucks have the most free agents who are in their regular rotation than anybody. Bledsoe is a free agent. Middleton's a free agent. Lopez is a free agent. My man Malcolm Brogdon is a free agent. You know what I'm saying? So when I made the narrative about a month ago about Milwaukee being a destination, Milwaukee has a lot of money. Milwaukee, the Nets, and the Clippers are going to be high on a lot of people's radars this year, man. Y'all need to watch out for them Bucks.
All right, you still plugging your trade, but I appreciate you there. Who we got next?
I'll go next. Hey, if I'm Zion, and this is going to be one of my subjects, if I'm Zion, I'm never wearing Nike ever again. It's a 2-team race. It's going to be either Adidas and Puma. It's probably going to end up throwing him the bag, like that James Harden money. So, I mean, for him, I think Nike almost got kind of exposed yesterday with them cheaply made shoes.
I think they threw Paul George under the bus.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. But yeah, man, shout out to you, Hawk, and then shout out to old boy Rob with Sports Talk. I think I learned a lot today, especially as a business. So, yeah, I mean, as I say, every time you come up here, you know what I'm saying, I always learn something new, especially when it comes to business. And then we also talk about our people as a whole. So, man, that's all I'll say. I appreciate you, and that's my shout-out.
My God, appreciate you, Darian. Who we got up next? Hey, everybody, this Thursday show was JaVale's idea. The Thursday show, see, I know this is usually barbershop day, but JaVale plugged me. I was like, we need a show, and let's talk about this. So, shout out to JaVale again. This was him. Les, you still up here?
Yeah, I'm right here, Hawk. All right, first off, I'm going to start out. I'm going to throw a shout-out to my boy Joby Reed, Southern Virginia, proud of us down here. The Who's need to unleash the beast this year. That's my boy. I'm tight with him, talk to him all the time. People have no idea how good of a human being he is, on top of the freakish athlete he is. I'm gonna start there. Next thing I'm gonna talk about, they have got to work something out to start. And I know we're talking about athletes on different levels and stuff like that. They've got to work on something that these athletes can get compensated on some of this stuff in college, because these dudes are getting filthy rich. They're getting filthy rich, and it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. They have got to do something about paying. And I don't know whether it's called paying these young men or something. I mean, just like they're talking about Corey Maggette, you know, when he that freshman year he got $2,000 and he come back, dude didn't get no time because they didn't know anything about it. $2,000 freaking dollars, dude. We're not talking about mafia money here, man. $2,000. Same way with Terrell Pryor when he traded that autographed jersey for a tattoo. That's bullcrap, man. Come on, dude. They got, something has to be done with some of these bullshit rules that they got, man. And my next thing is I want to see Hawk running a hitch and go against VPI with Bryce Perkins throwing him a touchdown, and we beat them in the waning moment. That's what I want to see. I got one last thing, though, Hawk. I got one last thing. One time, I want us to have a discussion on if Bubba Chuck would have played his senior year of high school, what would he have chose, football or basketball? That's what I want. Because everybody acts like he was all basketball. That dude loved football. Loved it.
Yeah, he loved football.
So would he have been the next Deion Sanders?
I think he would have played both. I think he would have tried. That's all he knew.
Because Notre Dame was hot on him for football.
They were. Yep.
Oh, yeah. See, a lot of people in Kentucky was hot on him for basketball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You know, basketball, he was pretty much the guy.
But he went, Hawk, his junior year, he was a national football player of the year in high school, dude. His junior year. He beat the great E.C. Glass by himself. He beat those guys. I mean, E.C. Glass was the monster back then, man. I mean, Keith Hamilton named the dudes that come out there. Bo Henson, who was a great legendary coach in E.C. Glass, say he's the greatest athlete he has ever seen on a football field, ever. And you're talking about a guy that coached many, many, many pro players at E.C. Glass. He said he's the best athlete he ever saw on a football field.
No, he was the truth, man.
So I mean,
he was athletic.
Dude, when he had 5 picks, don't he still hold the record? He had like 5 picks in one game.
Yeah, he had 5 in one game. It was that state game.
I mean, just crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. I mean, what and you know how it is in Virginia, high school football. I mean, it's in your blood, man. I mean, it's in your blood. So I mean, what would he have chose? I would love one day just to see AI, not ask him nothing else. Just say, hey, if you would have played your senior year, what would you have picked, football or basketball? I'd love to see what he said, because I guarantee he would hesitate. I guarantee you he would.
Yeah, he would think.
I mean, the dude, he's an icon, man. And we got cheated for his senior year. We got cheated of it.
Yeah, he did.
Got cheated of it, man.
But we got to wrap this up, Wes, man. I definitely appreciate your input, bro. And anytime you see me on, make sure you call in, man.
I'm going to start coming on more, man. I'm going to start coming on more.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that now.
Thank you. All right, I'm coming on more. Yeah, I love it, man. And JaVale, tell JaVale don't get mad, man. This is just fun, man. That's all it is.
He just animated. He animated. He's my Skip Bayless. He's my energy. Anytime he on.
Oh, my gosh.
He's a real good dude, though, so he don't take it personally.
I know. No, I like to have fun with this, man. That's all it is for me.
Yeah, he don't take nothing personal.
I like to have fun.
So I tell people he's animated, he's passionate, but he don't take it personal.
Well,
he can text me right now and be like, hey, man, I had him going.
Hawk, I enjoyed it, man. I'm going to start coming on more. I loved it, man. I loved it.
All right, man.
I loved it.
Have a great weekend, brother.
All right. You too, Hawk. Thank you, man. All right, buddy.
Thanks.
You too, buddy.
All right. T, you still there, man? You muted. What you got to say, bro? Or you ain't even paying attention? All right, T was just on. He just letting it rock. But that's all we got for y'all on the show today. No outro. Sorry we went so long today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Appreciate all the analysts that call. Had so many calls in today. Always a pleasure for Robert T. Green to call in. That's what we got. Good as the enemy of great. Be great in everything that you do, man. Ball Hawk Show. We out. Oh!
Now is the chance to use reliable energy to grow your money with the Dominion Energy Reliability Investment. Our new investment product offers competitive returns, no maintenance fees, and flexible online access to your money. Make the reliable investment in reliable energy. The Dominion Energy Reliability Investment. To find out more, go online to reliabilityinvestment.com. That's reliabilityinvestment.com.